Cigarette smoking is on the decline in the United States for a number of reasons, including laws banning smoking in many workplaces and in public spaces, and at least partial restrictions in other areas. However, the moist tobacco market is on the rise and has increased by nearly 7% from 2011 to 2014, according to an international report. As a result, many companies are developing products and accessories to serve this expanding market, and they are realizing that some of the prevailing myths about tobacco users don't hold up. Most people scheduled for a trip to the hospital expect the facility to be clean, or at least not harboring organisms that can cause life-threatening illness. However, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, approximately 75,000 people in the United States die from hospital-acquired infections each year. Many hospitals struggle to prevent the spread of life-threatening bacteria. Poor hand hygiene, overuse of antibiotics, and inadequate disinfection practices are often contributors to the problem. Helping your baby sleep through the night is one of the great milestones of parenthood. Establishing good sleep habits and patterns early can help babies learn how to sleep, which is a key component in a baby's happiness and makes for less exhausted sort of parents. Experts in this field are advising the parents to focus on the 3 E's: eating, environment, and education. We live in a digital world that is constantly evolving. Those of us who were born prior to the dot-com bubble were able to witness firsthand how technology transformed the way we lived our day-to-day lives. Then in the early 2000s, the rise of social media forever changed how we interact with one another. Entire industries were forced to adapt to this new era. There is one industry that is still in the early days of its evolution: the news industry. A recent poll by the American Press Institute revealed that 85% of millennials say keeping up with the news is important to them. It seems as if you're buying birthday gifts during September more than any other time of the year. You most likely are. The reason is that it's the month when most American babies are born. If you do the math, you'll understand why. The holidays may not be a popular time for birthdays, but they sure are a popular time for conception. If you happen to live in a part of the U.S. that's experiencing a heat wave, rest assured, cooler weather is on the way. For most parts of the country, mid-September means a break in the heat. That's a good time to turn off the air conditioner and turn on a ceiling fan to start saving energy and money. September 18th marks the third annual National Ceiling Fan Day. Many major ceiling fan manufacturers, the American Lighting Association, and leading energy conservation groups invite everyone to join the fight to reduce energy consumption by turning off their central cooling systems and relying solely on ceiling fans to save trillions of kilowatt-hours of energy consumption. They are as iconic and as much a part of the fabric of U.S. history as the cowboys who use them. Then, just as it is now, the spittoon was popular and necessary. In fact, as state lawmakers continue to outlaw cigarettes in bars, restaurants, workplaces, and government buildings, smokers are opting for smokeless tobacco, and the spittoon is once again becoming a necessity. Are you ready for some football? As football camps commence and America begins to prep for the upcoming season, sports fans are gearing up for the country's most popular sport. Indeed, as summer eases into the fall season, it's a grand time to be a sports fan, what with football starting and baseball heading into the stretch run for the playoffs. Whatever your sports heart desires, however, there's a certain code of conduct when you're supporting your favorite team at the next home game. A concert is more than an event, it's an experience. This is a chance to get dressed up, go out on the town, connect with your friends, and maybe just discover a hot new band that you want to add to your playlist. For some, however, the pressure may be too much. Is it possible to just sit back and enjoy the concert? Grittiness, burning, irritation, redness, itching, tearing. If these symptoms sound familiar, you could be one of the estimated 10 million Americans who suffer from dry eye. Dry eye is a condition where tears lack sufficient moisture and lubrication, which are necessary to maintain good eye health and clear vision. Tears not only wash away dust, but also soothe the eyes, provide oxygen and nutrients to the cornea, and help defend against eye infections by removing harmful bacteria. When it comes to updating your home, it can be difficult to decide what to do, where to start, and, most importantly, what will last over the long haul. Granite countertops that have been the trend? Faux painted walls? So yesterday, by the way, wallpaper is making a comeback. You get it. Yet hardwood floors continue to withstand the test of time. They provide warmth and add classic beauty to even the most simple home. Hardwoods are just easier, especially for people who have pets and kids. Many homeowners love carpeting. Its look and comfort, as well as its insulating qualities, make carpet an essential home decor element. Unfortunately, this creature comfort is prone to stains, such as red wine that accidentally gets spilled at a holiday party, or a pet that didn't quite make it to the doggy door. In the event mishaps like these occur, and they will, it pays to have carpeting that is made from material that you know is worry-free and easy to clean. There is a revolution that has been taking place for quite some time in the business world, and it's changing the way workers use the telephone and companies do business. Chances are you've heard of it. It's called Internet telephony, and experts agree that, among other things, it has made office PBX systems obsolete while increasing employee productivity by allowing a very mobile workforce to stay connected to their business lines, no matter where they're working from or which device they're using. Turning 50 seems to come with its own set of challenges, unlike any other age, be it mental, emotional, or physical. It's also when your doctor is likely to start urging you to get a colonoscopy, even if you do not have any symptoms. But what used to be an unpleasant, albeit necessary and routine procedure, has now become much less invasive, thanks to new technology. Driving through neighborhoods this holiday season, you may have noticed that some holiday lights are brighter and more vividly colored than others. According to the American Lighting Association, the reason for the added brilliance is that more and more homeowners are opting to decorate with LED lights instead of the traditional incandescent type. Incandescent bulbs have been used for decorating holiday trees since 1882, shortly after Thomas Edison invented and demonstrated his first practical incandescent bulbs on New Year's Eve in 1879. Independent films are the heart and soul of the movie industry. These original works of art have the potential to push the boundaries of film, engage new, underserved audiences, and, just maybe, develop into blockbuster hits seen by millions of viewers worldwide. This journey of growth, however, is no easy task. For an independent filmmaker, distribution can be the difference between a flop and $1 million success. Taking the step up from baby food to table food requires a key skill: chewing. Chewing is a learned skill, and parents can help their babies make the transition by offering a mix of appropriately textured foods. Before introducing textured foods, review a baby's readiness. Signs that a baby is ready to begin eating soft foods include crawling with his or her stomach off the floor, pulling up to a standing position, starting to mash food with the jaws and attempting to feed him or herself, not necessarily successfully, but making the effort. Learning to chew takes practice. Have you ever suffered from sticker shock at the pharmacy? You arrive with a prescription from your doctor, but you are told that the medication is not covered and could cost you several $100s. Health insurance and prescription drug coverage is a complex puzzle, and many consumers find themselves at a loss to understand what is or isn't covered and why. However, some companies are trying to make the process easier. In particular, services to educate doctors and patients about drug benefits right in the doctor's office can help avoid unpleasant surprises at the pharmacy. These days it's popular to talk about 40 being the new 30. Unfortunately, this does not apply to a woman's fertility, which peaks in her 20s, then declines in her 30s. One option for fertility preservation that has been getting a lot of attention recently is egg freezing. Historically, egg freezing was an option for young women with medical problems. Now, women who do not have major health problems but are considering delaying having a family are wondering if egg preservation could be a potential option for them. We've come a long way in recent years to lead healthier lives, with yoga studios and juice bars seemingly on every corner and even fast food restaurants promoting healthier choices. Convenience has been key in maintaining these new priorities. Often, if it's not easy to do, we abandon it quickly, likely the reason so many New Year's resolutions don't stick. But many health improvements in the foods and beverages we regularly enjoy have not only made it possible, but also easy to achieve a balanced and wholesome diet. Startup companies come in all shapes and sizes, some thrive, some fail, but many would argue that the most successful startups lie not with its product, but the talent it can attract. The challenge in finding the right talent is attracting the necessary experience, skill set, and cultural fit that embraces the entrepreneurial mentality. Young professionals are often up to the task, but may lack key experience, while mid-career professionals have the necessary skill sets, but are more risk-averse. We've heard a lot about workplace ergonomics in recent years, but with the economy changing, more people are working from home, whether by choice or their employers' decisions to go virtual. Maybe it's time to acknowledge the obvious: it's just as easy to injure yourself no matter where you physically work. As autumn temperatures move in, sidewalks are painted orange with freshly fallen foliage, cozy sweaters are taken out of storage, and mouths begin to water for hearty dishes packed with fall-friendly ingredients. There's much more than pumpkin to freshen up your food. Make the most out of your fresh farmers market picks and create seasonal sandwiches with these simple add-ins that blend all of your favorite autumn flavors. Is ginger ale the world's most evolved beverage? It has been enjoyed as a mixer for many liquors, a tonic for the queasy, and a standalone refreshment. Over time, its variations have been many, but there's no doubt this libation has serious staying power. Today, deep into the 21st century, what is commonly considered America's first soft drink is evolving again by receiving a hard makeover. Spiked or hard ginger ales infused with alcohol are making their way onto store shelves. From casual conversation to pop culture, the heart is the organ we love to talk about. We reminisce about our high school heartthrobs, center our hearts in yoga class, and cry over our last heartbreaks. The human heart is important, essential, actually, but not infallible. Heart failure is the cause for over 1 million hospital visits in the U.S. annually and an unimaginable $31 billion of healthcare expenses. It is a chronic, progressively worsening disease with high mortality that affects more than 5.1 million Americans. Approximately 60% of adults aged 65 and older living alone or in care facilities receive no regular visitors, according to recent studies. Loneliness is a challenge for older adults, especially during the holidays. Some may have no close relatives, others may have family members and friends too far away to visit regularly. A daily weekday phone check-in service provides peace of mind to family and friends of older adults living alone. The birth of a child should be a joyous occasion, a time for families to celebrate the excitement and wonder that comes with parenthood. But for families of children born with congenital heart defects, CHD, this exciting time can quickly become a scary journey of decisions, emotions, and subsequent surgeries. It raises myriad questions, often with minimal guidance and few answers. And the emotional and financial stress can be staggering. The dusty stereotype of grandparents spending their 70s and 80s in a nursing home is fading fast, replaced by stories of skydiving seniors and engaged elders contributing to their communities. Today's seniors are considerably healthier and more active than their grandparents, and they are remaining in their own homes far longer than generations past. Of course, healthy eating and daily activity are keys to independent living into advanced age, but researchers also point to less obvious, equally important indicators. As the end of the year nears, many of us are preoccupied with holiday parties, searching for the perfect gift for loved ones or making lists of things to accomplish before the new year begins. During this busy time, one important task is often forgotten on the to-do list: make sure to use flexible spending account (FSA) funds before it's too late. Some employers will allow you to roll over $500 of your FSA funds into the next year. However, for those who are not permitted a carryover, these funds must be used by the end of the benefits year, which for most people is DEC 31. One of the greatest challenges to long-term space travel is the inherent difficulty in delivering supplies to the astronauts. However, the advent of 3D printing technology allows astronauts to create many useful items, such as emergency tools, on-site while serving on the International Space Station, ISS. Using 3D printing to create certain supplies greatly reduces the need for expensive and dangerous supply deliveries to space, according to Mouser Electronics. The start of each new year is synonymous with great intentions after setting ambitious resolutions. Whether it's losing weight, volunteering, or saving money, many Americans want to make positive changes. Though conventional wisdom suggests that these plans lose steam before the confetti is swept out of Times Square, resolutions can be accomplished. Believe it or not, a poll survey found that almost 6 in 10 Americans who made resolutions for 2014 kept them. But were they the right resolutions? Blame it on kids who can download music from iTunes with a swipe of a finger. Or point to a sluggish economy. Maybe it's the fact that society as a whole, while still in love with music, would rather watch TV than gather around a piano. Whatever the reason, piano sales have been less than grand for decades as fewer people take up the instrument. With an average cost of $16,000 for a new grand piano, it's easy to understand why those who are interested might opt for a less expensive electronic keyboard or buy used. During the summer months, many families spend extra time together, going on trips, enjoying gatherings with family and friends, and making memories that last all year. While the season may be filled with the sounds of joy and laughter, a great day can easily turn into a bad memory when stinging insects are encountered. Knees start to hurt, hips start to ache, maybe your lower back too. And you finally understand what tennis elbow means. Welcome to getting older. For years your bones, muscles, and joints have held up with nothing more than a minor twinge here or a bruise there. Now, however, it takes longer to get out of bed and daily aches and pains seem to be the norm. While it may sound counterproductive, studies have shown that engaging in a moderate strength training program not only helps in toning up, but strengthening muscles that can ache for days. Much has been made about encryption and why it's important to keeping your information safe. Yet, even after massive data breaches at major corporations that you most likely frequent or have a connection to, it still remains one of those items that never quite seems to make it off your to-do list. Consider this: according to an article in the New York Times last year, half of American adults had their personal information exposed to hackers in 2014 alone. Florida has always been known for its white sand beaches and palm trees. Now, however, the Sunshine State is being recognized as the next high-tech corridor for modeling, simulation, and training. To understand what this means from a real-world perspective, consider this: if you've ever flown on a major airline, the pilot has most likely logged hundreds of hours in a simulator. Requiring emergency health care? You can bet the doctor has honed their life-saving skills inside a virtual emergency room. Each morning is the beginning of a new day and another chance to make the world a better place. Think your actions don't make a difference? Think again. Taking small, mindful actions for positive improvement can have a great impact on your community and inspire others to do the same. There are so many opportunities to do good for the planet, and many of them are right under your nose. Just when you are getting used to having your children home for the summer, you realize it's already almost time to send them back to school. So you schedule appointments and checkups, but one thing that often goes unchecked is a child's vision. Did you know 80% of a child's learning is done through their eyes? And yet, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 35% of children have never seen an eye care professional, making vision impairment one of the most prevalent disabling conditions among children in the U.S. Libraries are no longer just spaces filled with books and movies to borrow. They are places of wonder and imagination, and, if they happen to be affiliated with family place libraries, they are fun, interactive early learning and family support destinations for families with very young children. And they are celebrating their 20th anniversary. The Family Place Libraries initiative began when the former library advocacy organization, Libraries for the Future, was searching the nation for a model parent program that could be replicated in public libraries. As a pet owner, have you ever had a female dog who always finds the outdoor bathroom during the day, but wets her bed at night? Dogs who follow the house rules can be horrified when they realize that they've leaked, even though it occurs during sleep. Plastic sheets aren't the answer, and most likely your long-suffering pet wouldn't be happy alone outside. Urine soiling isn't something pet owners enjoy discussing. CME Group has once again partnered with National 4-H Council to sponsor the interactive and educational Commodity Carnival, which will visit 120 state and county fairs in the Midwest during the summer and fall of 2017. The Commodity Carnival and companion app, Risk Ranch, give players a fun and engaging way to learn about agriculture by bringing a steer to market. Most companies know the need to go mobile to make their workforce more productive and efficient, but many don't know what is needed outside of buying some tablets and software. The truth is that companies simply don't consider how a mobile employee will carry or use a tablet while out in the field, whether that be an actual field, the floors of an emergency room, the roof of a hail-damaged house, or the halls of a huge hotel. The problem is elegant in its simplicity. A tablet, like any tool, must be easily carried and accessible at all times. Patriotism is in the air during the summer months. It starts with Memorial Day and flows into July 4th. But it's not just about fireworks, cookouts, and parades. The heart of patriotism is helping others, and like our veterans, volunteer firefighters, EMS personnel, and rescue workers are all about helping those in need. In fact, for veterans looking for new ways to give back, becoming a volunteer firefighter can be a great choice to serve their communities. It's the time of year to unpack the crockpots, pull out your team colors, and break out that Sunday football attire because football season is back. As autumn approaches and school is back in session, many families start to gear up for those weekends of tailgating. If you're looking for some creative ways to wow your tailgate attendees or throw an awesome football party, follow these tips that are sure to be a hit. How easy is it for millennials to get their hands on the very drugs fueling today's opioid crisis? Easier than you might think. According to a new national poll released by the American Psychiatric Association, 46% of millennials surveyed said illicitly obtaining such drugs would be a cinch in their neighborhoods, a far higher number than other adults questioned. Your body does quite an amazing balancing act with your head. Which is to say, if you imagine a 10-pound mass, your head, sitting atop a column of bones, your neck, with split-second movements in all directions, you'll begin to understand why neck pain ranks as one of humankind's most common and persistent problems. There are all sorts of neck pain: the temporary type you have after sleeping awkwardly, the sore type you have following exercise, or the nagging type often associated with a car accident. Hospitals, surgical facilities, doctors' offices, and medical centers all face the same problem: how to safely dispose of the substantial amount of fluids that take place during surgeries and other medical procedures. These fluids include blood, urine, spinal fluid, ascites fluid, and saline solution used to irrigate wounds and surgical incisions. Since they may contain pathogens like HIV or hepatitis, they can be dangerous. Behavioral health issues are more common today. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, about 25% of all adults in the United States have a mental illness, and 50% will develop one in their lifetime. Mental health diseases affect not only the mind, but the body too. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that mental illness is associated with chronic medical diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and obesity. As more consumers appreciate the balanced elegance of lower alcohol wines, the California wine industry is responding with a new guide that provides savvy travelers to Sonoma or Napa with the best ways to identify and appreciate these beverages. Jordan Winery has introduced the first Napa Sonoma winery's lower alcohol wine tasting map to guide consumers seeking lighter, elegant, low alcohol wines. For many homeowners, the roof is out of sight and out of mind until a crisis occurs, such as a leak or storm damage. But the roof is subject to general wear and tear as well as environmental factors, and a proactive homeowner can catch problems early and address them effectively to prevent greater damage and create a better-looking roof. What it is: the growth of blue-green algae is a common problem on roofs, especially in areas with hot, humid summers, according to this old house.